June was such a fantastic month for eyeshadow palettes that I decided to troop through, barely having a voice, to tell you guys my thoughts about the 14 palettes that I used in the month of June. Hello my gorgeous ones, welcome to Alicia Budget Beauty. My name is Alicia. Here on my channel, I love all things affordable fashion, beauty, and fragrance. I do hauls, tutorials, reviews, eyeshadow palette rankings, and monthly roundups, all sorts of fun stuff. So if that sounds good to you, please subscribe, stick around, be a friend. All right, you guys, so yes, you guys have heard my voice in the last couple of videos is just almost gone. In the mornings, it's completely gone. It is now 7 something at night. This is the best it's been all day, so I decided to go ahead, sit down, and get this video done. I'm sure tomorrow I won't be able to speak again. So I used 14 palettes in the month of June, and several of these were PR palettes, so I used them several times so I could give honest reviews on them. And this is a really hard one for me to rank. And well, I really can't rank it properly. You'll kind of see what I mean here in a minute. But let me go ahead and get started. So at the bottom three, oh, let me preface this by saying, no, oh, my pug snuck in again. He keeps finding his way in here. Some of you guys like for him to come in here. You see him back here, but I don't because he's too snorty and breathes too hard. Get the perro sucio. Get. The perro sucio. That's what I mean. I love my dog. It's my loving name for him. Okay, so let me get back to the palettes. None of these are bad this month. None of them. These are all good palettes. None of these are leaving my collection. So let me just start with that. But at the bottom three, I went ahead and just included these all together because really I kind of like these all three equally. And like I said, they're all three really, really good. But these are the 5 pans from Profusion. And I had the 3 other ones that I have in last month's roundup. So then at the beginning of this month, I continued on and did a look with all 3 of these. So we have the Nautical palette. And we do have a Nautical color story here, teals, blues. You guys, the star of the show is the shimmers in here. This formula is so good. It is so stinking pretty. You guys, look at that. These are like $6, $4, something like that. Very, very, very cheap. We have the Evergreen one, and we have the greens, and then this shimmer. Look at that. Is that not insane? These are so cheap and so good. And then we have Cozy, you guys. I'm going to say this right now. This shimmer blows, like, say, Patrick Ta Major Dimension, in my opinion, out of the water. It is so stunning on the eyes. Like, can you believe that these are little drugstore super cheap palettes? They are beautiful. I'll just swatch them on my hand, but look how shiny and gorgeous. Oh my gosh. I was so pleased with these. The mattes in here take a little bit of building up, but they're very, very flattering on the eyes, and they look very professional once you blend them out, build them up. And then those shimmers, I highly recommend these. Even though they're at my bottom, they're fantastic. Okay, so next, this palette is also so good. Like, so good. You guys will just see, like, the other palettes in here, it's just super hard for me. This is the Buxom Forever Babe palette. I did get this one in PR, and I think I did 3 looks, 2 or 3 looks. They'll be on the screen. But what I love about this, number one, packaging is stunningly gorgeous. I do have a code with them. If you want to save, that'll be on the screen. It'll also be linked in the description. It's a pretty good discount code. I think it's 20%. I think. So anyway, packaging is gorgeous. And then here's the color story and breakdown. And I love this because obviously it's broken down into quads, but they also mix and match really, really, really well. The shimmers in here are also beautiful. Like this one is stunning too. Look how pretty that is. I also really liked this one. I mean, really all of them are just these gorgeous, neutrally, but you have sort of like your soft glam or your everyday in here. I was very impressed with this. Great palette. Highly recommend it. Then just above it, I put the Born This Way, the Natural Nudes Too Faced. I also got this one in PR. I got those Profusion ones in PR. I promise there's a couple I bought in here. I'll tell you which ones I bought. But this palette, my pug is a stalker. He is in here again. You hear his toenails? I'm just gonna let him be. He's kind of where you don't hear him as bad. Okay, so I was so surprised by this palette because, truth be told, I'm someone that has kind of not Too Faced palettes, formula. I had ones in the past, like the peanut butter and jelly palette I loved. I had, gosh, the chocolate one. I had several, okay? The sexy, too sexy, or anyway. And I was always like, people give this brand way too much credit when it comes to eyeshadows. Like, I love some of their other products, but you guys, this palette is legit. It is so good. Talk about also gorgeous. I love this gold in here. Is so pretty. It's like an orangey gold. It's beautiful on the eye. Really, really beautiful. The mattes in here are so good too. Like, that's what ranked this just slightly. I think these mattes are a little bit better than the Buxom, but I was blown away. I was like, okay, I digress. Like, Too Faced isn't as bad as I thought it was, or at least this palette. Really, really liked it. I think if you're on the hunt for a really good staple neutral, this would be an excellent choice. Okay, so now next up is, I really, really love this palette too. It's hard here on out to rank. So the Hauntingly Glamorous palette, this was whenever it was Alien. Now it's Unearthly Cosmetics. I don't even know if they have this available anymore. And I love this palette. The reason why I ranked it a little bit lower is, I mean, I only used one shade, or maybe two. I used 2 shades out of it, I think, for my look. It's not like I used the whole palette for the whole month, but I adore the shimmers in here. They look like they'd be a little flat, sort of, because they're kind of this like soft, velvety type of shimmer right here. But you guys, see how they're not as like metallic and sparkly looking, but they are so pretty in the inner corner. There's some of my favorite inner corner shimmers. And then the tones in here are just so yummy. This is a perfect like spooky season palette. I'm definitely always in like my best spooky season palettes rankings, but I love this palette. I just ranked it lower because, like I said, I didn't use it a whole lot. Gosh, this is so hard. I'm looking at the palettes left and I'm like, okay. So next up, the Grunge Life palette from Salem Cosmetics. Now, I could rank this so much higher, and I feel like I almost should, but I have only used it twice. I adored my looks from this palette. The shimmers are the star of the show. They are so good in here, like shifty as all get out. So it's this one and this one, by the way. They're so shifty. I mean, I got so many compliments on my looks. Look how pretty that is when I wore this palette. And the mattes are not my favorite so far. Like I said, I've only used it twice, so I need to get to know the mattes a little bit better. They blend just fine. Like it looks good. They don't look patchy or anything like that. They're just a little bit, they're not as buttery smooth. They're like thinner in a way. So it's taken me a while to like kind of figure them out. But my looks though, whew, they are some of my favorite looks. So if I was ranking my looks, this would be much higher. And like I said, I'm still getting to know the palette. I will tell you guys this too. I have to be super honest with you guys. I adore the owner. I do have a code with Salem now, and I do highly recommend, like, I mean, just the shimmers. I could buy every single palette based off of the shimmers. shipping takes a while. It takes a really, really good while. You have to know that going in. I'm always going to be honest with you guys on that. Sometimes things are out of control as far as, you know, getting shipments in for the brand owner. So I give some grace on that. But communication is key. You know, if a brand will just communicate and say, hey, this is why it's late, then I don't mind it. Pre-orders are pretty big with Salem. So I just say all that. If you're okay with that, I do recommend the formula. And this could absolutely be ranked in my tops down the road. I just need to use it more. All right, let's spill. Okay, next we have the, is this After Dark? After Dark. There's no name on it, but Lethal Cosmetics. I think it's After Dark. So here it is. This palette, you guys, I need to use more as well. I couldn't rank it any higher because I've only used it a couple of times. It is discontinued. I've had it for a while and then realized I was not using this enough. And I say this all the time with Lethal. I just feel like they get tones so right, especially their purples. Anytime I wear their purples, it's just the prettiest purples that I own. They're not patchy at all. They blend so beautifully. This is another one that, like, kind of like with a Natasha Denona Mattes or Blend Bunny, they almost kind of just blend themselves. And then I also love the shimmers too. So I definitely need to use this one more. I wish it was still available. All right, so next up, okay, this is so hard here on out. Okay, this is where I'm putting this one. Okay, Nomad, Beachy, and Peachy. And I do still have my shattered screen. Everyone was giving me advice for, like, you need to tape that or replace that. And I don't really know how to take it out without it crumbling everywhere and getting glass into my shade. So I've just been protecting by keeping this. If you guys have advice on how to take the mirror out without it crumbling into my shades, please let me know. I really loved this palette. I have a video on it. Did get this one in PR as well. I purchased the Grunge Life, by the way. That was not gifted to me. I purchased the Lethal and I purchased the Unearthly palette. But I could rank this one higher too. It's just, oh, it was such a good month, but I loved my looks with this. I did give this one just a few little critical things, just that I would have said I would have liked to have seen a deeper green in here. And then I would like to see more shifty shimmers in here as well. Otherwise, I loved it and I loved my looks with it. Now, okay, I'm gonna take a deep breath on these, just as far as where to rank them. Okay, Cozy Cabin Holiday Edition from Simply Posh. So this is the palette I used in my look for the video that was palettes that are cool and warm tones. And so I mixed and matched some cool tones and warm tones in this palette to wear in that video. And this one, you guys, I think is a little underrated, even for myself, because anytime I say my favorite Simply Posh palettes, I forget to say this one. And I think I'm going to use it a little bit more come like fall and winter this time. And maybe I'll fall even more in love with it because it really is so good. And I do love mixing these sides. Like, you don't have to just stay here and here. You can mix the sides and, like, the contrast is really, really beautiful. Then, okay, wait. Yes, okay. Then we are going, so this is number 4. This number 4 is the Peach Perfect palette from Gourmand Girls. Did get this one in PR. I have a video on it where I did 4 looks. The thing that makes me love this palette so much is the color story. I had some discussions with different people on it, and I saw a couple of comments. For the most part, I think people love this color story, and I just think they nailed it. I just think it's perfection. I saw some people that wanted more peaches in it. And then some people thought these were blues. And so I say, maybe we could have done one more peach, like an even deeper one, maybe. Maybe we could have done that. And then I will also tell you, these are not blue, at least to my eye, and even on, they're not blue. Sort of like ever so slightly like turquoisey, one look that I did, but my monochromatic look, but like when you contrast them with the peach, they definitely look green and like sage green and like a gray green. So I loved this. I love the formula. I thought it was so stinking good. All right, number 3. I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. I can do this. Can I? You guys, how do I rank these 3? Let me just show you guys. Okay, I don't want to, my voice, I don't want to torture myself here. How do I rank these? These are my last 3. We have the Arrow Inspired palette from Adept. This is just one of my favorite palettes. It's so freaking good. And my look with this month, so good. I bought this. I do not get Adept in PR. Adept. Hello. They never see me. Hello. These 2 I did get in PR. We have my, you guys know this is my heart. I think why I'm struggling as much as I keep putting the Crow number one. And because I love it so much. But I do it like every time I use it, I put it number 1. By Wicked Widow Beauty. And then we also have the Currency palette by Davini. And they're so different. Like their color stories are just literally kind of night and day here. How do I, guys, like it's so hard. Like this is my favorite palette for like dark smoky eyes, period, in my entire collection. But then this one was so good. It was the best looks I feel like I've ever done was with this palette. So, and then I love my Arrow Inspired palette. So you guys, I don't know. It's like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I don't know. Any given day, these could be interchangeable. I love all 3 of them so much. I do have codes with these 2. Again, I do not with this one. And you guys need to give Davini a chance if you have not. Absolutely. Okay. All right, you guys, I did it. Let me take a little sip for my outro. I hope you bared with this voice. It's probably super annoying for you guys, but let me know what your favorite palettes were for your month of June. Let me know what you think about this ranking in these palettes. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, have fun shopping, budget shopping. Bye.